Hello and welcome to day 7 of Vlogmas. We're back working with characters from Noah's Archipelago, and more specifically the character is Noah's mother-in-law, Agnes Burgoyne. She's standing in her backyard and she is nagging hubby Frank. Agnes gets very particular, let's say, about deco and whatnot. If you hear tapping, I'm mixing colors on my palette. Yes, I'm actually mixing, not flesh color, but I needed a sky blue and a couple other colors that were not, even despite all the various little boxes, I say boxes, bottles, containers, close enough, I have of different little containers I've got of various colors of ink. I still didn't really have the colors I need for Agnes, because Agnes is very particular and she's also very obsessed with neutral colors, neutral palette. So, just finished mixing 3 shades, so there we go. That's a mix, that's a mix, that's a mix. This is like yellow ochre with white, that's a turquoise with blue, and that's a mixture of sepia and olive green. The periwinkle blue, I don't know if I'm actually going to use it, but I wanted it in case, because every so often I do draw Agnes wearing color, but if she does, it's like a blue or navy sort of thing. So I may end up mixing that later. But first, let's start with the sky, because they're outside, so, you know. And I'm going to be a little bit sloppy with this. Actually, I may cheat a little bit and water it down a little so it spreads more. So Agnes is kind of the pot that calls the kettle black. She likes to constantly harp on Noah being a stay-at-home dude, as Noah likes to put it. During the daytime, Noah is at home minding Ursula and her baby sister. And then in the evening, Noah sings in like 5 different bands, right? So he's working in the evenings, but during the daytime he's home. And as far as Ursula doesn't care. But as far as Agnes is concerned, that means that Noah has no work ethic and he's a lazy bum and blah, 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 blah. Now, has Agnes worked a day in her life since she got married to Frank? Probably not. And they're kind of well off, so she probably even had nannies when Ruth and her brother were small. But, you know, that's beside the point. It's Agnes's basic life philosophy is it's different when Agnes does it. So, you know, everything is, whatever Agnes does, totally fine. It's what Noah does that's a problem. So, and they have this acreage in the Shishi part of town, Victoria and Oak Bay. As you can kind of tell, those are tall arborvitaes in the background. I'll color up in a minute. So, you know, they're a lot taller than Agnes is, so you can get a bit of a scale of the lawn. Which she likes to complain that she used to have a lovely lawn, except for her daughter's husband ruined it with his stupid vegetables and chickens. And Frank is always, well, we'll talk about Frank more tomorrow. Husband Frank, very much into the chickens and all that. Unless Agnes is asking, then it's all Thorsen's fault. And Frank had no intention of, Thorsen tricked me, you have to believe me. I'm sure Agnes knows that Frank had Frank was a willing accomplice to Thorsen in ruining her lawn, but, you know, for the sake of peace, and they've probably been married 40 years now or whatever, she's willing to. Plus, she can't stand, well, sort of can't stand Noah, but, you know, they get along better than I initially envisioned, but, yeah. She still has her complaints, so we've got that. Yeah, this one, we'll see. I want to say this is going to go faster than many of the other ones, but we will find out, you know? We will find out. So, just trying to think. Let me kind of take a look. No, that's more brown. Figure out a good Arbavita shade of green, and this is probably not really it. Maybe if I do that. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Now we're getting it, so gotta go over that again. And just, again, still mixing on my palette with bringing in some of the Higgins with the Dollar Brownie. Now one could point out that if Agnes is so particular about the outdoor decorating, perhaps she ought to do it herself, but that ain't never going to happen. So yeah, it'll be Frank getting up on the ladder to put up the Christmas lights that she approves. Yeah. And as for the giant tacky inflatables, well, there was a comic a couple winters ago where Agnes and Ruth were going out antiquing, and as she left, she gave Frank and Noah very strict instructions, no giant tacky inflatables. And then as soon as she left, Frank turns to Noah and says, "All right, the wives are gone. Go get the giant tacky inflatables." So, now obviously, when Agnes came home, I'm sure he said that, well, Noah twisted his arm or whatever. But, you know, Frank's a bit of a weasel that way. Retired politician, you know. Kind of like the texture I get from being very sloppy with how I move the brush. And because we've got so much area to cover here, I will rely on the brush a fair bit. All right. Now, I should probably put the teeniest little bit of yellow into that. I'm gonna have to be careful when I'm coloring Agnes's sweater that has dried. Otherwise, it might, if it gets too close, it's gonna want to bleed back into her very neutral sweater, which is not gonna work for her, you know. Color is what weirdos like Thorsen wear, you know. So what does Agnes do all day? Well, she spies on Noah, for one thing. We've had comics in which Agnes and her friends are having tea by the living room window overlooking the pool, which would be off that way. And the friends will observe what Noah's doing and report back, and Agnes will get very upset because, you know, he thrives on attention. Stop giving it to him. Which is true. Noah does thrive on attention. Which is kind of why he does bizarre things like ride a unicycle in laps around the pool while juggling, and then being very annoyed if Agnes doesn't report that information when she's harping on Ruth about what Ruth's husband has done all day. And Noah's attitude is it's his duty as son-in-law to give the old lady something to gossip about. Since they're going to be watching him anyways, he might as well do something interesting. Basically, yes, Noah thrives on attention. And Agnes thrives on conflict and complaining. I heard a weird thumping sound, but I think that's the speaker on my computer off to the side. Deciding, well, if you're not going to be listening to YouTube videos, then I guess we'll just make random thumping noises and complain. To blot that. It's showing a little too much of the brown, but then it's kind of fun. It's got a little bit of the darker tone, but not too much. Yeah, what color is Agnes going to be wearing? She likes neutrals. Let's give her a gray sweater. No, a light gray, so I'm going to water that down a little. Does Agnes like to do? Well, you know, she plays bridge with her friends. She goes antiquing, sometimes dragging Ursula along with her. Ursula not being so thrilled about this because Ursula hates shopping. Ruth's also into antiques and whatnot. So the funny thing is, Noah is really into thrift shopping, which you'd think we'd kind of go with that, but Agnes would consider that thrift shopping is not an acceptable pastime, basically because it's affordable. I'm making her sound so awful. She kind of is. She's not as bad. Now, kind of do want to give her a blue skirt, but I want it to not be blue, you know what I mean? Let's see how much I can add a little gray and dumb it down a little. There we go. This one maybe is going to go faster than the average video. Let's say that now, and then probably be importing it and realizing that it's like 45 minutes long or something. Just in the coloring part, but except we're kind of almost done with the coloring part. Now we get into why I mixed the yellow ochre and the white. Agnes's hair is the lightest blonde. Some might say that it's actually white, but she puts blonde streaks into it. Some might say that. Agnes would deny it. Anyways, it's kind of a cream colored, and that's actually working better than I thought. There, we are not quite done because, of course, there's the issue of the lights. So, we do need to have something indicating this is Christmas, not just Agnes in her yard, because technically she could be complaining about giant tacky inflatables at like Halloween too. So the lights are going to be very, very bright red. Normally she's not really one for color, but you know, red and green is the classic Halloween color. Did I say Halloween? It's the classic Christmas color combination. So she will tolerate bright red for Christmas. Everything else in the house is and will be and shall remain shades of pastel, you know, grandma chic. All the Laura Ashley stuff that was big in the 80s, right? You know, very quickly go with the... And I don't know if you can see that, but I trailed a little bit of red along because I got a little too close to where it was wet. But that's fine. I do have a couple spots where the green is trailing into the red, so I'm going to dab that. Try and stop it. I'm going to let the red kind of go into the dark green though. And we can't see her hand because it's on her hip. So, hey, we're done for color. I'm going to go rinse off the palette and clean up, and I will be back in a moment to do the inking. Maybe this one is going to be short. Famous last words, right? All right. Let's see how this comes along. Shouldn't slow down too much at this point. I'm just gonna figure out, I'm probably gonna end up blocking most of the view, but that's, I guess, kind of what how it is, right? So what is she saying? I mean it, Frank. Keep it classy. No giant tacky inflatables. You know, what would the other women at the country club think? And I am not keeping it all to my guideline, my guide text in the blue, but that's fine. We got space. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna I'm hoping I spelled inflatables right. I don't know. I think it's correct. Ah! I just smudged that arbovita. Oh well. This is what I get for using my pinky as an anchor. I can lift it out a little bit, but not too much. You're gonna notice it. Whatever. Whatever. That's my go-to phrase, isn't it? Every time I screw something up. Whatever. I'll need to put this nib back on when I do Frank's reply, but what I said before about working top to bottom and left to right, that'll be one of the last things we do, so we'll get to that later. be a good spot to be using like a maul stick. If you see the painters that have the big long stick and they hold it across and then rest their wrist on top of it like that. But don't have anything handy that would function for that right now. Guess next time I'm at Canadian Tire, I should get some, get a fat dowel that's like 4 feet long or something like that. This arborvitae has had some snow damage from last winter, and they forgot to tie it up and fix it. Probably that would be a Noah job or a Frank job. Frank probably doesn't really care, and Noah probably just didn't feel like getting around to it. Recording this on Friday evening. I've been trying to post these videos around noon, but I have a feeling this one's going to be late because odds of me getting the edits done on this tonight pretty low because I still have to do tomorrow's Noah's Archipelago. And then tomorrow morning, my writers group has a sales event for our anthology. I'll stick the link, the Amazon link, in the description. But anyways, I will be busy with that in the morning. So unless I'm going to get up at 6 in the morning, and spoiler alert, no, I'm not. This will be going up probably closer to like This one might actually be going up in the evening tomorrow. So, but that is the last of the sales events I am participating in. Ruth's waist is a little... Did I say Ruth? Well, you know what they say. You turn into your mother, right? Agnes's waist is kind of a little... You know what? I'm gonna rescue it and make it look like the waist of her sweater is ribbed, because that'll hide the fact that I had that extra texture in there. Always make your mistakes look intentional. Anyways, what was I saying? So, probably this is going to be posted later than the other ones are getting posted, but honestly, they mostly seem to accumulate views a few days after they're posted, so I don't think it matters too much. In general, Monday things will get back into a better schedule is my plan. And this is like the third or fourth. I don't think I was going to say I haven't drawn any feet, but that's not true because I drew feet on Noah, but everybody else is getting cut off like mid-calf. Here we go. Now I still have to do Frank's reply lettering, and then it's signing time, and yeah, it is going to be possibly famous last words, but I think this is going to be the shortest one so far. And then the question is, do I stop and, well, try and edit this video as well as do the Noah's Archipelago cartoon for tomorrow? Or do I get ambitious and film Sunday's video? But then that means that I'll be rushing the Noah cartoon, and this one then won't get edited on time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna err on the side of being responsible. Stop, download the footage on this, work on Noah, see if I can get it at least started editing, and then maybe the bit that I said earlier about I'm posting this one late will not be relevant, you know, if I actually get it edited tonight. We will see. We will see. Still wouldn't be posting the link much. You know, like I can schedule it in YouTube, but in terms of posting it onto my Facebook page and all that, it won't matter because I probably won't be getting won't be posting any links till at least 2 p.m., if not like 7 in the evening. So, let's sign it. Squeeze it in on the light. There you have it. A quick and, I was going to say the phrase is quick and dirty, but Ruth, I keep calling her Ruth. She's not Ruth, she's Ruth's mother. I want to call it quick and dirty, but I don't think Agnes is really the dirty type. Although, who knows? Sometimes the ones you least expect are the most way out there. But we really don't want to think about Agnes and Frank's and anything dirty. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to get my nib messy again, so I'm just going to outline that one bulb with the marker. Anyways, so that has been Vlogmas for day 7. Yeah, day 7. Tune in again tomorrow, and we will be drawing, speaking of mothers, Ricky B. Rat's mother, Margaret, aka Mama Rat. That's who we're drawing tomorrow. She and Agnes would have a whole lot in common, honestly. Sit there and have tea and complain about their kids and in-laws. Anyways, talk at you tomorrow. Bye for now. Just as I was about to turn the camera off, I realized, oh yeah, there is something I forgot to do. The detailed overview. So, let me move the camera, bring it up a bit, and zoom it in. Not that there's a huge amount of detail in this particular cartoon, but, you know, there's a little bit. So, I mean it, Frank. Keep it classy. No giant tacky inflatables. Yes, dear. Just the red lights. That's it. And he's lucky she let him do red lights, because she would have preferred to go with all plain the winter white. But the reason why she didn't is because those are frankly annoying to draw. They look like you forgot to color them in. So that is why Agnes has color in her Christmas lights. Anyways, there you have it. See you tomorrow.